First of all, I want to introduce you to the state directors and the executive committee. So it's made up of the following people, and I'd like them all to stand as I announce their names individually. Just hold your applause till we get to the end, if you will. You guys don't need to stand because you're already up here where everybody can see you. But the executive committee is comprised of myself as well as John Douglas, Senior Vice President of AGC, Jamie Angus, Vice President, Mike Mencarini, Treasurer, Kurt Welps, thank you for your service and leadership this past year, immediate past President. John Stump, Chair of the Building Division, is here. I know, John, here you are. Thank you. And you're supposed to stand, Kurt. Jerome Padova with Skanska, the Chair of the Joint Engineering Division, and remain standing for those of you Nick Seals, Vice Chair of the Building Division, George Bradshaw, Vice Chair of the Joint Engineering Division, Clint Myers, Chair of the CLC. Is Clint in here? I didn't see him, okay. I'm going to make a note of that for later. Gary Grandy, Chair of the Associates Council. Great addition. Randy Douglas, Chair of the Legislative Committee and past President. Tom Brickley, Chair of the Open Shop Committee. Wayne Lindholm, Chair of the National Affairs Committee. And Don Dolly, Chair of the UCC. So this is your executive committee.
And these are some significant changes that we haven't spent a lot of time talking about, but we kind of warned you about. And the areas where I want to point out, there's our events, which we have an events task force comprised of our officer corps plus others. Some of the staff responsibilities have shifted. Last year we hired Dave Jenkins, and he's overseeing all managers statewide. In doing so, he's shifted some people around to get better coverage consistent between districts. Online communities, last year you heard the report that we were flushing AGC Connect. We have done that. We went and looked for a better vehicle, and I'll talk a bit about that. And then finally, take a look at our strategic dashboard. Last year, I warned everybody that 6-page document, scorecard, is an internal document now. We're moving it off your desk, putting it on ours so that the staff could follow it in more detail. But the dashboard is available more for your viewing pleasure. So, the online community thing, I wanted you to take a look at this chart. It's kind of interesting. It shows that the AGC Connect was pretty robust. It was really built well. It cost us a lot of time and money so that we could connect the groups. The Legal Advisory Committee, the Safety Committee were probably the most user-centric on this program. But other than that, it just got a lot of inertia, and there was just a lot of time being spent on something our membership really wasn't into. And part of the reason is there's so many other social media programs available. I think people were just saying, enough, I got enough. So we looked around and we found a LinkedIn program that we can plug into, and we're building, and we're going to be releasing in formal fashion. Here's our events for the 2015 year. These are the dates. You might make note of those because we'd sure like to see all of you there.
I see less single-family housing and much less retail than a decade ago. Public spending not growing in the aggregate. Lots of niches helped by the shale gale, the Panama Canal widening, and both ups and downs as a result of the big demographic changes in terms of many more elderly, flat or declining numbers of people moving on to college or entering the workforce and the home buying market for the first time. Materials costs, really not a problem for the next few years, but labor costs, and especially labor availability, being an issue. Put it in table form and show you how the segments have changed. In 2013, 2014, very similar top-line figure in terms of spending. The next few years should be a little bit stronger. Changed mix though. Residential up 20% in 2013, up mid-single digits this past year, and up by single digits in the next few years. Residential, non-residential private construction made up the difference. It went from flat in 2013 to double-digit growth in 2014, and should stay positive in the next few years.
At the end of 2013, we had 945 members. The goal for 2014 was to have at least one new member. above that. We ended up with 8, so we surpassed our goal by 7. Currently, we're at 461 contractor members, 492 associate members, and the retention for 2014 was at 90%. In these numbers, which is good, is we have essentially it's about 50-50 on contractors members versus associate members. Most associations are at 3 to 1, so it keeps us alive when we're like this, because I know associate members like to come to this association because of the contractors members, so they can do more business with us.
All right, student chapters. So in 2014, we've been offering conference scholarships to the AGC student chapters since 2012. To date, we have had over 400 students from across the state that have participated in AGC of California conferences. So in total, 120 hours of professional development and training has been provided to the students at AGC conferences. In order to effectively gauge our progress and impact on AGC student chapter members, the AGC construction education staff created a survey that was administered to the 160 students and alumni who were supported by AGC CEF conference scholarships in 2013 and 2014. The questions were geared towards measuring their experience as a student chapter member, the impact AGC has had on their professional development, job, entering the work placement, and to collect data on where they are working now, if they have graduated. In total, we had close to 50% of the students respond, which gives us a really good indication of what's really out there. And listed on the slides, you'll see some of the numbers. 64% of the students and alumni reported that their goals were met by coming to these conferences. That is an increase of 14% over our 2013 report. 64% of the students and alumni also reporting employment by AGC member companies. That's a 26% increase over 2013. 28% of the students reported being active in the AGC CLC. This is a 24% increase from 2013. I mean, that's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So I want to tell you one last piece of information that just was discussed at our meeting yesterday, and so this is hot off the press. It kind of goes along with the thought about where are we going, what's the new portal, how do we reach people, and it may or may not be part of this kind of venue. We are putting together a portal, if you will, and it's a virtual career awareness day. So this is still kind of in the development stages, but we voted in our committee yesterday to spend the money to put this career awareness program together in a virtual format. It is amazing. It is so wonderful. It means that anybody can get on there 24 hours a day and they can be at a career awareness day. They can talk to potential employers. They can put out their resumes. This is going to help veterans. It's going to help women. It's going to help anybody who wants to get into the construction industry. And so we also heard that getting employees is becoming a little bit of a challenge. Again, an opportunity for our members to be part of this. And I think once we've got all the bugs worked out, we're going to present it. You will be blown away.
Along those lines, we have 2 bills that we are sponsoring. We have found sponsors for. All of this is contained in your ledge report, so I'm going to be real brief and get off the stage. But those 2 bills, one is regarding stormwater and who should be doing the design. I think we've got Senator Jerry Hill with thinking of being the sponsor on that bill. He's from San Mateo. He's familiar with the concerns, understands the concerns. But he needs to talk to his city manager just to kind of get a feeling for, it's the cities that like to shift that responsibility, and and he wants to hear the whys and try to figure that out. The other bill we're sponsoring is regarding prevailing wage claims. Right now, you're guilty or you pay before it's settled. You pay in cash before it's settled. Once it's settled, it takes a while to get that cash back. It can be devastating on a small. Well, it can be devastating on large and small, depending on what that fine is. And we're trying to get that changed so that it's a bond.
Eileen Deppenbrock introduced the pre-qualification language that we hope that the standard pre-qual that the AGC is proposing to in the state of California is going to streamline the pre-qualification process for all of our contract members. I know a lot of us in this room spend a lot of time on pre-qualifications that all basically cover the same stuff, but they vary in their format and create a tremendous amount of time for us. So thank her for her hard work on that.
The state budget that has been proposed by the governor. Some of the key points in that pertaining to our engineering division is Prop 1E funding is still around. There's about $1.1 billion for water projects. Cap and trade is going to bring $250 million for high-speed rail and about $100 million for some other transit and intercity rail projects. There's a 5-year plan that the governor has proposed for deferred maintenance of infrastructure. About 90% of that is for transportation, and that 5-year plan is looking at funding about $66 million.
So one last item I have before we see all tonight is the President's Scholarship. And we had some really good submissions, and we picked a subject matter which I think is kind of cool with where we're heading as an industry and also with technology. But it was really about drones and how they can be effective in our workplace. And it's a pretty exciting topic and one that's just growing like you can't even imagine right now. Fortunate enough to be involved in a fairly substantial bridge in LA. And actually the suggestion was made, rather than put up inspection platforms and rather than spend a whole bunch of money with access platforms and everything else, is why don't you buy a drone? You can do the whole thing from down on the ground. You can do it safely, not put people at risk, etc. So we had some really good submissions, and I would like to announce that Nick Mancarini was the winner of the award. I don't think Nick was able to be here today, but anyway, we're real proud of the submissions that we have.